Abuja's scorching sun poured its golden light over Starlight International Academy, one of the most prestigious schools in the city. Its modern architecture gleamed with opulence, and its gates welcomed children of the elite alongside scholarship students like Chidinma is. Chidinma, a brilliant and beautiful 16-year-old, stood out for her intelligence and elegance. But for reasons she could never understand, her peers saw her as a target. Her sharp wit and academic prowess only painted a bigger bullseye on her back. In her brown uniform with a perfectly ironed pleated skirt, Chidinma clutched her books tightly as she walked through the school hallway. Whispers followed her like shadows. "Look at her, always acting so perfect," sneered Amaka, one of the wealthiest girls in the school, her voice dripping with venom. "Maybe if she wasn't so smart, the teachers wouldn't love her so much," another girl muttered, loud enough for Chidinma to hear. Chidinma ignored them, as usual, and walked into her math class. The bullying was relentless, but she had no choice but to endure. Her family had worked tirelessly to ensure she attended this prestigious school, and she couldn't disappoint them. When the bell rang, she sat in her usual seat by the window, far away from the crowd. She turned to the equations in her notebook, immersing herself in their logic to drown out the cruel world around her. Later that day, in the cafeteria, the chatter around the arrival of a new student filled the air. "Have you seen him? He's Obinna Okoye, the son of Chief Okoye, the billionaire," someone asked. "Yes. And he's even more handsome than I imagined." Chidinma wasn't interested in the gossip. She knew that new students, especially wealthy ones, rarely noticed people like her. But fate had other plans. Obinna walked into the cafeteria with a quiet confidence. He was tall, with an athletic build and a dimpled smile that immediately drew attention. His caramel-toned skin glowed under the light, and his neatly combed hair complemented his sharp features. Dressed in the school's uniform but with an effortless flair, he carried himself like someone used to being in the spotlight but not obsessed with it. His eyes scanned the room, landing briefly on Chidinma, who sat alone, sketching in her notebook. Something about her intrigued him, her quiet demeanor, the way she seemed to fade into the background despite her striking beauty. "Who's she?" he asked a nearby student. "Oh, her. That's Chidinma. She's the scholarship girl everyone avoids," the boy replied dismissively. Obinna frowned. He hated the idea of people being categorized by wealth. Determined to learn more about her, he grabbed his tray and made his way to her table. "Hi," he said, setting his tray down. Chidinma looked up, startled. She quickly closed her sketchpad. "Hi. Do you mind if I sit here?" he asked. Sure," she said hesitantly. "I'm Obinna," he said with a smile, extending his hand. "Chidinma," she replied, shaking his hand cautiously. Their brief interaction was enough to send ripples through the cafeteria. Amaka and her clique glared daggers at Chidinma. How dare the new boy choose her table? The following weeks were a nightmare for Chidinma. Amaka and her friends escalated their bullying. They hid her books, poured water on her chair, and spread rumors about her. "She thinks she's special just because Obinna talks to her," Amaka sneered one afternoon. Despite everything, Obinna continued to sit with Chidinma at lunch, walk with her to class, and even partner with her on projects. "Why are you doing this?" Chidinma asked one day, her voice trembling. "You're only making things worse for me." "Because I don't like seeing people treated unfairly," Obinna replied. "And I think you're amazing, Chidinma. You deserve better." His words were a balm to her wounded heart. One rainy afternoon, Obinna found Chidinma crying in the library. Amaka had humiliated her in front of the entire school by uploading a fake video claiming Chidinma had stolen exam questions. "Chidinma," Obinna said softly, sitting beside her. "Don't let them get to you. I know you didn't do it. But everyone else believes it," she whispered. "I'm so tired of fighting." Obinna gently wiped her tears. "You're not alone anymore. I'm here for you." For the first time, Chidinma felt a flicker of hope. The turning point came during the school's talent showcase. Chidinma reluctantly agreed to participate, displaying her incredible talent for drawing. She created a live portrait of an iconic Nigerian landscape, leaving the audience in awe. When it was Amoka's turn, she mocked Chidinma openly. Art? Really? Some of us have real talents. But before Chidinma could retreat in embarrassment, Obinna took the microphone. Chidinma's art is incredible. Unlike some people, she doesn't need to put others down to shine. The audience erupted in applause. For the first time, Amoka's power began to crumble. Over the following months, Obinna and Chidinma grew closer. They spent time studying together, exploring Abuja's parks, and sharing their dreams. Obinna introduced Chidinma to his family, who were impressed by her intelligence and humility. Though some questioned the match, Obinna stood firm. Chidinma is the most genuine person I've ever met, he told them. Meanwhile, Chidinma's parents, initially wary of Obinna's wealth, came to see his sincerity and respect for their daughter. By the end of their final year, Chidinma was no longer the bullied girl. Her confidence had grown, and her relationship with Obinna was a beacon of hope for others. Together, they proved that love, kindness, and courage could overcome even the darkest trials. On their graduation day, Obinna whispered to her, "This is just the beginning, Chidinma. Together, we'll conquer the world." And for the first time in years, Chidinma believed it.